Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
The history of how dogs and cats became our furry buddies. We'll be looking back thousands of years to figure out just how these animals went from totally wild to, snoozing on our sofas.
Interesting.
I'm really interested to dig into this. It's way more complex than you might think. So let's get started with the question, who really domesticated who?
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's not always so clear-cut.
You're right. It's definitely not a simple answer.
Right.
It's more like this give and take, this dance between humans and these animals over time.
I like that, a dance.
Yeah.
So let's rewind way back
Okay.
to the Paleolithic period, like 30,000 years ago.
All right.
Imagine you're an early human just trying to survive. There are these wolves hanging around your camp, drawn by, leftovers from hunting.
Makes sense.
So how did this kind of cautious relationship, between humans and wolves even start?
Well, it was a slow process happening gradually over many generations.
I see. Imagine some of those wolves. The ones that weren't as aggressive, they'd come closer to the human settlements.
For the scraps, I'm guessing.
Right, exactly. For them, it was about survival, a steady source of food.
Yeah.
And for the early humans, they might have seen these wolves as helpful,
In what way?
like extra pairs of eyes and ears, to warn them about danger, maybe even helping with the hunt.
That makes sense.
So it was mutually beneficial. Both sides got something out of it.
It wasn't just any wolves, though, right?
You got it. These were the ancestors of our modern dogs.
Fascinating.
And over time, humans probably started preferring wolves with certain traits.
Like which ones?
The calmer ones, the ones that were easier to live with.
Right.
Maybe even unintentionally started breeding them that way.
Which led to the variety of dogs we see today.
Exactly. Think about it. We have herding dogs like border collies, scent hounds like bloodhounds, even those tiny terriers bred for pest control.
It's amazing how we shape them for different jobs.
It really is. We've even found genetic evidence of this.
Wait. Yeah. Domesticated dogs have unique genetic markers, setting them apart from their wolf ancestors.
So that shows how human choices had a real impact.
Absolutely.
So dogs came on the scene first.
Yeah.
But what about cats? When did they join the party?
Their story comes a bit later,
Okay.
around 9,000 years ago, right when humans were starting to farm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Instead of hunting and gathering, people were settling down, growing crops, storing grain.
And grain attracts rodents.
Exactly. And who loves to hunt rodents?
Cats.
Bingo. Suddenly, cats are looking like pretty useful companions.
Like they saw an opportunity and pounced.
I like that.
So while humans were actively shaping dogs, cats kind of did their own thing, coming closer to us for their own benefit.
That's a good point. It really challenges our idea of what domestication means.
Right.
We even have archaeological evidence of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from early farming settlements. Cat remains found right alongside human homes.
So they were living together.
It seems so. Did cats domesticate us by being so helpful? It's a thought-provoking question, isn't it?
It is it. Here we are today with these two very different species who both became our companions.
And they both communicate with us in fascinating ways.
That's right.
Studies show that dogs can actually understand our emotions just by looking at our faces.
Wow.
They've evolved to pick up on our expressions.
That's incredible. And cats. They've developed that special meow almost entirely to talk to us.
It's true. It's not how they communicate with each other. It's their unique way of getting our attention.
And it works every time.
Whether it's a little chirp for food or a loud yowl for some cuddles.
They know how to get what they want.
They do.
So we've journeyed through time exploring this complex relationship, and it makes you wonder, if cats were so good at adapting to our world, could they also adapt to a world without us?
That's a really interesting question.
Food for thought, right?
It is, whether you're team dog, team cat, or maybe you love both. It's clear that these animals have had a huge impact on us, and they continue to shape our lives today.
They're woven into our history, and their story, just like ours, is still being written.
Absolutely.